Okay, let's see. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Audio going. Yeah. Okay. We could have a little bit more output on that. Let's see. Ken, glad to see you. Well, glad to have you. Can't see you. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Goodness gracious. What are we going to do? We are going to, all right, that's muted. That's good. That's down in number. That's good. All right, that's good. Let's see what this sounds like if we listen to it through the phone. Go there. Oh, it says it's live. That's good. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Well, that sounds pretty good. Check 1, 2. Well, that sounds pretty good. That'll be the eternal loop, but we'll turn it off. Okay, satisfied. Yeah, I've got a pretty low threshold for satisfaction. This thing's still on. How do you get rid of it? Background play is on. Not now. All right, I do have a confession. Close. Let's try again. YouTube. Pause. X. X out of that. All right, check 1, 2. I had a phone catastrophe on Thursday. I was going to say Friday, but I think it was really Thursday. And my Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus bit the dust. And I've dropped it a bunch. Screensaver, yeah, nice case, well, cheap case anyway. And finally, it just hit the right space at the right time and the bottom sixth of the screen was just all white. And you could still work with whatever was there if you knew what it was, but it wasn't going to work long term. So I went to the nearby Verizon store, and I had been thinking, let me back up a second. This story may take a moment. Everybody in my clan, except my middle son, has an iPhone. Everybody in my clan except my middle son and my youngest brother has iPhones. And when they send me a photo or a video, it is reduced resolution, really blurry. And everybody else gets perfect. And anything that I get from my Samsung brother or my Samsung son works just fine. Hey, Jono. But anything that comes from one of the iPhones just looks like. So, having a new granddaughter, March 1st, and a relatively new grandson a year ago. Whoop. See? Long story short, I got a new phone. I don't know how to use it. Let's try turning the sound down. There we go. Maybe that did it. So I said, one of these days I've got to upgrade and go to an iPhone just because everybody else does. I don't have any Apple gear anywhere in my life. And then the Samsung broke. And I said, okay, well, I don't know that I'm ready to do the iPhone thing yet, but maybe I can get a cheap Android phone that kind of tied me over for a while. I walk out of the Verizon store with a brand new iPhone 15 Pro Special Super Deluxe model. And now I have to learn a whole new language. But I'm doing it for the grandkids. I have noble purpose doing it for the grandkids. So if my phone does something in the background here while we're broadcasting, that's what it is. It's me. It is definitely me for sure. So enough about me. Tell me about you. John O, how are things going? Let's get him up there. Ken just ordered a pair of X1s today, actually a while back. But I have, in the last week, decided that the X1s are safe enough, are developed enough to ship. But you know what? Anyway, there's new firmware out. Let's see. It is the 21 model. Let's see, the 21 edition. Release notes. Yeah, .21 is new. I'm not sure when that came out, but we have got to turn this thing off. How do you turn it off? Maybe I can. Hold on a second. One second. Alerts. Here we go. Snooze alerts for 2 hours. That'll do it. So anyway, the .21 updates are out, and it says it added Wi-Fi DNS option in network configuration, improved the DHCP network IP address handling. That's good. Improved image quality tuning, resulting in significantly improved image quality. Wow. Added dynamic PTZ movements, resulting in smoother, fine-tuned control when the camera is zoomed in. So yeah, that'll be a good upgrade. Not going to do it now. Well, we might. Well, no, we're not going to do it. Not going to do it today. Not going to do it today. But I'm going to do it today. Maybe we'll do it in post-show. I hear wind. Is that wind or rain? Let's bring up the weather. You know, you just never know around here. Weather, Fairhope, Alabama. What I really want to see is the radar. Radar. There's radar. Well, that doesn't look like rain. That's me right there in the middle. That little teeny dot. Yeah, we must be getting just a smidgen. How can I make that menu, that picture larger? Well, keyboard enabled? No, that doesn't help. Well, I would pinch it, but that won't help either. So yeah. So that we might be getting, that was, yeah, it's probably just a shower and it's already gone. So we're good there. We're good there. We are good there. We are good. John is going well. He's packing up his house and moving to Beverly, Tennessee. Where in Tennessee? I was just in Tennessee. Well, not that just. I was in Chattanooga for for a quick overnight. Our 1-year-old was getting baptized. It was a kind of a last minute thing. The church says, "Oh yeah, if you have a baby, drop them on by, and we'll baptize them." So they did, and we went south of Nashville, near Fairview, Tennessee. What is in Fairview, Tennessee, that would bring you there? Fairview, Tennessee. Fairview, Tennessee. Well, let's see if we can't share with everybody Fairview, Tennessee. All right, so this is Fairview, Tennessee. And there's the Publix. Holy cow. That looks like Tennessee to me. Kind of chill. You know, hometown stuff. Football and cheerleaders and politics and find the best places to eat. Yeah. I like it. Jeepin' Dave is watching. Hello, Jeepin'. Working in Brentwood. Ah, all right. Well, cool. Well, we'll have to swing by when we're in the area, because occasionally we're almost in the area. Yes. Good. Good. Okay. It is, I think it's showtime. We got to go. We got to do this thing. Let's do this thing. Remember, we have retired the X Keys XK80, and we've stolen the buttons from it to put on the new no data. Okay. All right. Okay, spotty internet today, maybe? Don't know. But yeah, we kind of had some little yellow here, and then YouTube says it wasn't seeing anybody, so yep. All right, let's give it another go. We'll hit the button. Did the button work last time? I don't think it did. Let's just double check just a second. Show you my screen here, and we are going to go down into the intro outro section right here, and here's the opening, and we'll see what the triggers are. Restart. Turn my microphone on after 33 seconds. Okay. Opening video. Let's see. layers. That's what I was looking for. None. Let's go back here and look at layers. Layers, main shot. Aha. Check. There we go. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. That should work. Let's save that. And we'll try again. Hitting the purple button. Six years, maybe? Holy cow. You know, there's this thing that says we have to have the newest, latest, greatest, bestest, baddest, you know, whateverest. And there's something about things that don't change, things that stay the same, because they don't need to change. Yeah, there you go. And so, hat tip to Martin, because that intro is eclectic enough to satisfy me eternally. There you go. How about that for some deep BS? Okay, so what we have on the table for us today is, it's another BirdDog Day. And I'm going to open it with some comments, and then we're going to move into some actual gear stuff. So what I want to start out with is, we've done two shows on the X1, the new X1. Got it right here. Ta-da. Has a little antenna on the back of it right there. So it's Wi-Fi. It's battery powered. It's super cool. And it's still evolving. In typical BirdDog fashion, they have shipped a piece of gear that is probably 100% complete in its potential, but not 100% complete in its implementation. And that's okay, because that's what I've come to expect from BirdDog, is that they're going to continue to peel back the layers of the onion to reveal things, either things that were promoted to work and now are finally working, or are new features that just all of a sudden, you know, pow, there's this new great feature. And I love that about them, and I know that about them. And they are a first adopters dream company, because you get all the joy of getting this new hot piece of gear and the joy of the ongoing improvement that they offer. I don't have it in front of me because I've closed the windows, but I think the firmware that this little guy shipped with was version 8. And they are now up to version 21. Now, they haven't released each one of those as individual versions. I'm sure some of them were internal versions. But they went from, you know, from 8 to maybe 12 to 16 to 21. Maybe there are some others in there. There haven't been that many, maybe 4 or 5. And each one seems to identify and fix some issues, and maybe make things better, in addition to not only fixing a bug, but making an improvement to the camera. And that's one of the things I dearly love about BirdDog. And so it's a two-edged sword, you know? It's a plus and a minus. It's a buy a BirdDog camera, but when you implement it, don't implement it in a way that you can't get access to it, because you're going to want to make the firmware updates to it as the firmware comes out. Some things have drivers. So think of firmware as a driver for a piece of hardware. Just today, I updated the drivers for the NVIDIA graphics card. And the driver wasn't that much out of date. I think I had 555.32, and I'm now at 555.99 or something like that. So it's still a dot update in terms of drivers. But I wanted the freshest, latest, greatest, because I just feel better having it there, and you never know what improvements have been made under the hood. Likewise with software. When vMix comes out with a new dot version or a new major version, I want it because I know whatever it is that they're sending it out with has got, bug fixes, improvements, whatever. But I also know that the nature of Martin Sinclair is that he is constantly tweaking vMix to make it a little better, a little faster, a little smoother, a little softer, a little whatever. Hadn't changed the GUI, but he is making the software better continually. And, case in point is at my church, vMix is running on an i7 2600K quad-core CPU that has 16 gigs of RAM and a solid-state drive, of course, and is pulling in NDI feed from a camera, but is also operating in a 1080p 60 environment on an i7 2600. And it's doing great. I mean, the render time, that's one of the ways of measuring kind of the ongoing health of your system when it's operating, streaming, recording, whatever. The render time is under 10 seconds most of the time. Occasionally it'll pop up to 12 or 15, but most of the time it's under 10. The system that I'm running today is an i9 with I think 32 gigs of RAM, an NVIDIA. Oh, and the church system has a NVIDIA 750 Ti graphics card. Yeah, 750. Holy cow! You have to dust those rascals off. But here we're running a 4070 Ti, so we got a lot more CUDA cores and a lot more RAM. And we're running, 7, 8, 9 milliseconds with a 1080p 60 production. So vMix in some ways is running as well on my not totally up-to-date system. I think the i9 is like a 9900K or something like that. It's 9th generation. So it's not the latest, greatest, but it's pretty later than the 2600. But they're running in a similar fashion, and that's because the software is so well done. So I want to continually keep up with it. Long way of saying, spinning all the way back to BirdDog, I want to take the latest firmwares from BirdDog. So if you have a BirdDog implementation in your studio or in your home or in your church or wherever, periodically check the BirdDog firmware on their website and make sure that there's not some updates there, and they may fix a glitch that you're having that you don't even know you're having. You may think it's something else. So kudos to BirdDog for ongoing improvement. Yes, yeah, big fan of that. The X1 is their new camera, and their old cameras, the Ps, the Ps are out of production. There may be some still in the supply chain in the various channels, but the Ps are out of production. They have set aside ample repair parts, and they've also made the pledge that if they don't have parts available, they'll have parts manufactured. So if you've got P equipment or other equipment from BirdDog, rest assured that they will honor their warranty and that they will not leave you high and dry. And I can say that's the case. Yeah. Okay. So we've got what camera do we have? We've got the BirdDog X1. And let's see, what is it showing? It is showing me right here, right there. Okay. So we're going to use this spot to do our unboxing. And let me tell you, we have got, let's push aside a little bit of this stuff here. We can put aside the keyboard and the mouse and some of this other stuff, because we have got right here the box, just as it came from the distributor. This is an X1 Ultra. And this is the ultimate didn't open it, don't know what's in it, but we're gonna see if we can get it running in 5 minutes or less. Probably not. Okay, nicely packed by Broadfield. Thank you guys at Broadfield. And we're gonna have to put this down here and finagle it out of the box. It's harder than it sounds. Probably just as hard as it looks. There we go. And we can get rid of that. And we can see X1 Ultra, X1 Ultra, X1 Ultra. All right. I love these new flaps that everybody's putting on their boxes. I mean, just, you know, why didn't somebody think about that years ago? An interlocking tab to keep it closed so you don't have to use tape, and it will continue to work in the future. All right, first thing out of the box is NDI PTZ Control. What is this? It's an app. It's an iOS app. Hey, I've got an iOS phone now. Download it from the App Store. Then on the back, it is a scan me for a quick start guide. Remember, we didn't do that with the X1. And we're not going to do that with this one either. And we've got an envelope here with some goodies in it, probably some decals. Welcome to the family from BirdDog, with all sorts of downloads, register, support, Facebook group. Yeah, there we go. There we go. And a lens cloth. That's good. We'll stick that back in there in case we need that at some point. Let's get to the good stuff. All right. And then we've got a box of goodies. And that box of goodies includes the antenna and the different, these are camera identifiers. I don't know if you can see the numbers there. And they are illuminated by the tally light. We have a USB-C cable. And by the way, this USB-C cable, I think it's kind of cool. And this is classic BirdDog, although other people may be doing it too. I don't know. But this USB-C is not only USB-C, but has a little screw on the back of it to hold it in, because that's been the fault with anything USB or HDMI for that matter. All right, and we've got the BirdDog remote, and we have the mystery box inside, which will be all sorts of European and Asian and perhaps Australian plugs, but the one for the US is already mounted, so we won't worry about those others. And we'll set that one aside because we're going to need that in just a second. We'll put those back in the box. And put the box back in the box. And put the remote in the box, the cable in the box. Those, we will need the antenna, so we'll keep that out. And we will set all of this aside because we're not going to need it right now. Antenna. And notice here in the box, this is pretty cool. And I think a lot of people are going to this right now. These two handles come together and allow you to pull the camera out. And we've got this kind of molded paperboard. Set this box aside for a second. Got the molded paperboard that is the support for the camera, and comes right off. And here's the camera. And I think I may have noted before that it's got a special little pad here for the screen that's on the side of the camera. All right, well, let's just set these aside for a second. There we go. And get to the good stuff. And here is, voila, the camera. It looks remarkably similar to the X1. pull out the, pop off the lens cover, put on the antenna. Same size, same footprint. You might notice that the Ultra, is this the Ultra? Yeah, this is the Ultra. Phew. The Ultra has a different lens. It's a 12x lens, whereas the X1 has a 20x. Has the same screen on the side as the X1. In fact, in this case, it tells us, phew, thank goodness that this is the Ultra. That one says it's the BirdDog X1. On the back, we will find that they are, I guess they're identical. Let's see, they should be identical. Yeah. So they both have the power port, RS-232 port, the USB-C port, HDMI port, and RJ45 port, and the antenna. I would assume the antennas are interchangeable, but who knows? At the front, we have a BirdDog, I think that's a tally light. And of course, remember the ring around the camera is also a tally light. So let's find an internet cable we're not using for anything, and let's plug it in. If nothing else, we'll get power from it. Here we go. We'll move the X1 out of the way. All right. And on the side, it has already picked up. Aha, this is an improvement, I think. Let's see. It says that it is the BirdDog X1 Ultra 192.168.1.105. Well, that's my network. Okay. And it is 1080p 30. And it gives the BirdDog serial number. Well, let's see if we can find this on our network and add it into vMix, at least as a as an NDI camera. So we'll come down here to add input. We'll go to NDIs. And what is the number on this one? Can't really make it out. I think it ends in C9. So that would be it right there, maybe? 04. Yep. Let's try it. Let's see what happens when we do. Not getting anything from that yet. Let's pull up Studio Monitor and see what we see there. And we have a, yeah, there we go. Here's a desktop capture that has Studio Monitor. And this is the PTZ Optics Move 4K cam right here. And this is the new cam right here, so it's not ready for action there. What BirdDog is that one? That's the one right there. Do we have another BirdDog? That's SDI, so that's over the workbench. That's everything coming out of vMix. This is the same workbench camera, but the NDI version, which of course doesn't have NDI on it. And then that's this PTZ Optics camera right here. So let's pull up and see if we can address the camera by 192.168.1.105. 105. While that works, let's see if we can't do an IP scanner and see what shows up in that. Remember, we're looking for 192.168.1.105. Google says it can't be reached. And we'll see what we see over here. (102, 114, 116, 124). All the stuff. We're looking for a 105 to kind of slip in there somehow. 99%, 9 alive, 4 dead, 241 unknowns. And there we go. So it's not showing up, even though it's coming up with an IP address. Oh, well, that made a difference. Let's go right here and see. Can we zoom in on that? Let's see, do we have the capabilities? Might be a little too close. Oops, too far. Yeah, that must be the focus improvement that they're making. This is the X1 that we're using to look at this camera. And what we're looking at right here is that it's gone to its default IP address, 192.168.100.100. And I can't change over to that network right now because obviously we're using that network right now. So we will express regrets that DHCP did not work, but that's just the way things end up sometimes. So we can't see this picture right now, even though we are connected by Ethernet, and it probably will show up on our network, but we're not going to play too much longer with that because there won't be any satisfaction in it. But we will be able to do that when we go off air and go through the same setting of the camera back then. Let's just see if we can put in, do this. We'll take this one more step. There we go. So let's put in that IP address. 192.168.100.100. Let's see if we get anywhere with that. Probably won't, but you never know until you try. And once you try and you know, it's not going to work next time. I think we probably did this last time, and I just don't remember. The other thing that we can do is we can go back to our IP scanner. Let's see, do we take that off? We'll do that. And let's change over to the .100 addresses and scan there. And did that one change over? No. No, that's still not working. Okay, so we're not getting any joy here. Not there and not there yet. 75% we've scanned. 0 live, 0 dead, 192 unknown. Yeah, it's not reaching that network at all. No, that's not a surprise, but just what we needed to know. All right, so that is the uneventful and not surprising first unboxing and first look at the BirdDog the X1 Ultra. So we look forward to getting this going. This is, again, 4K at 12x, and it will be interesting because we've got obviously a 4K 12x camera right here in the PTZ Optics, the Move 4K version. And it'll be interesting to put these side by side. Both of them are going to be NDI-HX. Both of them will do NDI, and the BirdDog will do NDI over Ethernet, over Wi-Fi. Sorry, mine was blank for just a second. And then we can see, you know, what the heck is going on. I don't have a price on the Ultra. I'm sure it's on the internet. And if you would like to buy some from me, you will know that I will know what's going on inside the camera. That's the thing. And that's the promise that we make to our clients is, yeah, you can buy it from Amazon. You can pick up a used one on eBay. But when you have a problem or when you need to know something and you call Amazon, you call eBay, you get a hold of your eBay seller, I don't think so. That's why support is good. And especially with cameras like the BirdDog, which is an early adopter camera, and a camera for camera people. Yeah, the optics in this are going to be superb. It's all Sony stuff. Well, that's the show, folks. That's the show. Let's go to the post show, and I'm really interested to see what you guys have to say, and maybe we can play with some other things when we do that. We'll be right back. Okay. Well, Ken says to ping the default IP address. John says he hopes the default isn't static. I don't think the default is static. I thought the default was DHCP, but John says you could plug it into an Ethernet port directly on your computer. I do. I not only have a spare, I have 4 spares. Because you remember from a show a couple of weeks ago when we put in the StarTech 4-port Ethernet card. We could try that. We could try the IPv6. We could. And Ed stuns us all. Very good. Yeah, that's right. All right, let's start out by pinging the IP address. It has been a long time since I've pinged something. I'm drawing a blank on how to do it. Is that a command prompt kind of thing? Let's try a command prompt and see what we get. And let's do a desktop capture. So can we just try to ping it by saying ping? I forgot what the protocol is. All right, it's pinging 192.168.100 with 32 bytes of data, request timed out, and request timed out. Yeah. So ping is no joy. Nothing happened good there. What about plugging directly into our Ethernet port? Oh, you know what? Jono, that's exactly where it's plugged in right now. So it is on a whole different network. Let's pull up the IP and see if we can scan It is on the 4 series. Let's see if it shows up there as something. Because we can change that network address without having to bomb everything else out. All right, this is the PC. This is that the camera right there? 10.0.40.40. Well, let's see. 10.0.40.40. Are we going to get anything there? I don't know that we will. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think there's anything there. I think that's what the BirdDog P120 was connected. Yeah, see, it's offline right there. Oh, and it's not a 999K, it's a 10900. All right. Yeah, so okay, so we're not getting anything there. Let's go back here for just a second. Ken said wrong subnet. All right, let's go back here. So we know that's the right subnet. 168.10.10, 100, 100. And I think Ken was talking about the command prompt. So let's ping that again. 192.168.100.100. And we'll ping that one. Request timed out. Set the port to 192.168.100.123. Well, that's just it. At this point, I can't set a port at all. If you set the port, to 192.168.100.123, then it'll work, since that port is not issuing IP addresses. Well, you know what? That could be, no, that process should be running all the time. Let's go back and check. Okay. And let's disconnect this camera for just a second and hook it back up and see what we get there. Change my network card to 10.123. I see what you're saying. There we go. We can do that. We can do that. So let's go here and here. We'll go to Ethernet. Let's see, connected, no internet, not connected, not connected. Let's change adapter options. And we want number 4 right here. And we want to change that to a different address. All right, so let's change it to 192.168.100.123. All right, shall we try that? Unidentified network. And let's come back to this little guy. And we'll go back to 100 and do a little scan there. While we do the scan, we'll come back here, 192, 168, 100. Whoops. Should be able to just do it like that. And there it is. Jono is right. Okay, so we've got the camera set up on a different network. We've got it set up on 192.168.100, and we're accessing here. And let's go ahead and log in. The login is BirdDog. And what do we see here? We've got an Ethernet address of 192.168.100. 100. It's the Ultra. That's good. Let's go to the network. And we'll see we're set for DHCP, but it is serving up the 192.168.100.100 address. And let's go ahead and change that so we can get access to the camera. So we're going to do 10.0.40.40. 10, oh, that's right. 10.0.40.1. Would that be right? And we'll apply it. And we'll have an opportunity to see when we apply it what's going to happen down there. So that's 10.0.40.40. Okay, cool. Does that mean now that we can try to clear the decks here a little bit, and let's go back to Studio Monitor and see if we've got it available there. All right, so here's the main cam right there. Yep. And this I don't think is, oh, that's interesting, because that should be the BirdDog camera. That's, yeah, there we go. That's that camera. And that's the overhead camera. So it hasn't shown up yet here in, hasn't shown up yet here on that list. So let's take a look in vMix and see if it's shown up as an NDI camera. Add input, NDI. All right, that's, oh, you know what? We probably didn't reset the camera, even though it has its IP address. Well, we did apply it though, didn't we? Let's go back to the dashboard. Back to the dashboard. And yeah, we're not going to go anywhere here because we're on the wrong network. So let's go 10.0.40.40. And that should give us the camera. Take a second to come up here. Meanwhile, we'll see what you guys are doing. Yep, got it. Ah, so it's not seeing that 10.40.40 again. Interesting. Even though it's showing the camera as 10.0.40.40. Oh, you know what? I think I need to change the network back. There we go. Install, no. Properties, yes. So let's go back here. So it's going to be 10.0. Whoops. Cancel. Properties. 10, 0, 40, 1. All right. So that's that Ethernet adapter. Sometimes it's like walking through a maze, you know? So let's see, is this 10.40.0.1? Okay, okay. And let's go back here and try that one again. And now it comes up. There we go. Good, 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 good. And there's our address. Oops. 10.40.40.40. 10.0.40.40. Let's log in. So we're logged into the camera. And we're logged in over Ethernet. We're not logged in over Wi-Fi. 1080p 30. Network shows static. All right, let's go to Wi-Fi network. Wi-Fi network is on. Let's see. Our IP address here. Let's give it an address. Give it 105, which is the address we had before. And we'll apply that, and we'll go into settings here. And that's going to be 6IBX 5WIZ 5Q2S. Is that right? IBIZ Wiz Q2S. All right. We'll join it. In progress. Just waiting. Just waiting. We'll come back. Oh, it's connected. All right. So we got X out of that. Save password. No, let's don't do that. All right, so let's apply that again. Go back to the dashboard and see that we've got Wi-Fi status not connected. Cam doesn't have a Wi-Fi IP address, even though we gave it one. We'll go back to network. And there it is, 192.168.1.105. Still have the same listings here as we did before, so no change there. Let's see if our IP scanner comes up with anybody in the 100s. And let's go ahead and address it here. 192.168.1.105. There it is. Connected. Wi-Fi static is connected. There's our address. Different from this one, even though this is the same camera. Oh, now all right, now it's coming up and saying it's got a Wi-Fi address. All right, so we got Wi-Fi on the network, and we've got the camera on a different network. So they should work. Let's see, what are we missing? Yeah, actually, the 10.0.440 dot whatever does assign DHCPs. You're late. Yes, you are. It's okay. Replug your camera to the other network. Change status settings. Cameras. Let's just see where we are. All right, so we're connected Wi-Fi. We're connected Ethernet. Let's see if oh, we've got two different windows of those. So we've got, it's still not showing up there. Let's go to vMix and just make sure it's not showing up there. NDI cam, that one doesn't count. That one doesn't count. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. So it's not showing up as any of those at this point. But wouldn't hurt. All right, Ken suggests to replug the camera into the other network. Well, we set up we have set up a fixed address for the Wi-Fi, though, haven't we? Have we set up a fixed address for the Ethernet? Yes, we're static address on both of them. Oh, you know what? There is one other thing here that we need to do, which is to say our preferred NIC is Wi-Fi. And we'll do the same thing over here. Network. BIRDDOG. Oh, thanks. Wi-Fi is 105. We're on 105. Let's go here. And preferred network is Wi-Fi. Okay. Oh, and we're encoding. All right. We're not decoding. Okay. Let's see if that's made any difference. Do we find 105? Yeah, there's 105 right there. That's good. So we know that's working. And let's see if we've got a studio monitor yet. There it is. Ta-da! And what address is it taking? It's taking the 105. So this is coming in over Wi-Fi. All right, so this is our Wi-Fi. This is our Wi-Fi camera right here. Bingo. Do we have choices on that one? No. All right, let's see if that's available in vMix. Add input, NDI. There it is. So this is let's go here. So it's 1920 by 1080, 30p. NDI BirdDog cam. It doesn't tell us, does it, anywhere if it's HX. We'll connect it so now we can pan it. There we go. Yep. That would be nice if it would tell us what it was sending, whether it would be NDI or NDI HX. Let's Oh, I've got that same one down there twice. Let's try closing both of those. So let's add input, NDI. All right, so this is our cam right here. Does it show up any other way? And it doesn't tell us what we have. Okay. Okay, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Let's see, what shot do we have here? Let's take this shot right there. Let's zoom out a little bit. Okay. And while we're zooming out, I'm going to now this color right here is more blue in real life. And this camera right here is the X1. So I haven't really gotten it configured yet for color. But that's okay, because that's not the effort from today's issue. So this is the look from the Ultra. Well, let's see if we can't move it around a little bit, and then control it. Yeah. Okay. That's 12x. That's interesting. You right here, you're going to make, I'm pointing at the camera, not at you guys. You're going to make somebody really happy. I wonder what these things cost. I ordered one just to get one in the shop so that I could play with it, so I could learn it, so that when you guys bought one, you would feel comfortable knowing that I'd already played with it. So this is good. This is right out of the box. Now this is, let's go back and see what the firmware is on this one. Where is that? View right there. Okay. So let's see what the firmware is. It is under system, I believe. Does it tell us our current firmware? Yeah, let's go to the white. White's better. There we go. Let's go back to the dashboard. And system details, firmware version. All right, this is .08 or .0008. Let's go see what BirdDog has got for this camera now. So we're going to go downloads, Ultra, release notes. All right, so it's got a .21 too. And here is 12. That was the second update. I mean, the first update that didn't come with the camera. 16, 19, and 21. Oh, and the X1 and X1 Ultra may not be the same firmware, but it's the same release notes. Well, let's go ahead and download the firmware instructions. Oh, I didn't need to do that, but it's really pretty simple. Let's go back and download the firmware. Ultra full. All right. And 7 seconds left. We're going to go ahead and install this and see what happens when we do. Okay. And that's the one that I did a little while ago for the X1. This is the one for the X1 Ultra. So let's go unpack it. downloads, Ultra, extract all. Okay. So let's see. This is the 10404040. Let's do it here because this is the one that's hardwired. And we want to choose the file. We're going to go to downloads. We're going to go to Ultra full, Ultra 21, open, upload. Okay. So that's burning program, do not power off. Okay, we'll make sure we don't do that. Let's go here for just a second. Yep. Or we can go better than that. We can go here for just a second and catch back up to your cameras here. Yeah, that's it. That's right, Ed. Okay, let's see what's happening here on the desktop. Something's happening here on the desktop. The camera is resetting. Ooh, did a nice little dance there. And let's go back here so you can see what I see. Page not found. That's a 105. That's 40-40. Says burning program do not power off. Oh, but over here it says progress 100%. Let's go back before we foul up anything. Let's go back and look at the directions one more time. You know, I'm not a big directions guy, but let's see. Download the firmware file, log into the camera, choose update, click the update file. This process will take up to 5 minutes and require the camera to reboot. Do not power the unit off while this process is completes. After the process report is completed, allow 2 minutes for the camera to reboot and then refresh the browser. Confirm the update by reviewing the dashboard system details firmware version. All right, so let's go back to the camera here. It says burning program do not power off. And this is the this is 102. Let's close this dashboard. And this page is not found. So we've just got this one. We're going to give it 2 minutes. So, yeah. It was a smooth pan, and the firmware update for the X1 Ultra and the X1 do indicate that they have smoothed out panning and zooming. So this is good. All right, Jono says, this is 1080p 30. Yes. Does it do 60? I think it does 60 at 1080, but I don't think it does 60 at 4K, but we'll check. Tim says, I noticed when you moved the PTZ, the video frame rate seemed choppy during the movement. I hope it will look smoother when moving. We will see. Interesting that one person said it looked smooth, the other person said it looked choppy. So it all depends on what you expect. And it all depends on how good my stream is. If my stream is choppy, then yeah, it's going to look choppy. If my stream is pristine, which it should be, then something that's choppy will look choppy. Good comment, Tim. Let's see. Let's see where we are here. We'll go back here. We're still burning program do not power off. Let's live dangerously and let's go ahead and just reboot this screen. See what happens. Rebooting, it's whirling. What is it going to do? Did we launch it? Did we screw it all up? Oh, let's move the camera where we can see the IP address on the side. That's really nice to be able to see that. That's that right there. And the zoom on this camera is not working especially well. We'll have to do some fixes on that. So I'm just going to use vMix to kind of zoom that in a little bit. But you can see that the IP address is still .105. And we come back over here. We can see that we are not doing anything there. It's still spinning. Let's go back to our scan and see if 105 is showing up again. It's nice to have these tools to work with. Wish I knew how to use them. Yeah. All right, Jono says, never mind, I looked it up, only does 30 up to 2160. Michael Graves says, who is the OEM for these? What is the brand of sensor? I think I knew the OEM, but I don't at the moment. And the sensor is a Sony. I know that. We're still spinning here. And I'm not inclined to unplug this camera quite yet. Let's see what BirdDog said about products. Cameras, mini play, camera lines. There we go. X1 Ultra. Okay, tech specs. John just looked these up, but we're going to just double check them. All right, the lens, the sensor, Michael, is a Sony 1 1/3. The Ultra is a 12x zoom. And the Ultra is 30 frames a second at 720, 1080, and 2160. The X1 is 1080p at whatever you want and 720p at standard frame rates. So yeah. Interesting. Good to know. Looks like we have reset here. Let's go back to the dashboard. We'll probably have to log in again. You can see this is how I end up working most of the time, is just clicking back and forth to things and getting multiple things going at the same time. Let's check our IP address. And 105 is there and is active. What if we do our 1040 and see if it scans in there? At the same time, let's try our 192.05. And 40.40 is active. Okay, so we're there, we're just not there yet. Let's stop that one. Can we redo it right there? Will that make a difference? This one hasn't timed out yet, but it will. That's interesting that it's responsive at all right there. What if we try to go to the dashboard? It won't do that. Okay. I think it's interesting that we get this address right here This is the Wi-Fi address, the IP address over Wi-Fi, 192.168.1.105. And it would be interesting and probably worthwhile for BirdDog to let us know whether this is the Wi-Fi address or the Ethernet address. Because you can't, I mean, unless you know your network, you're not going to know what address this is. Does the camera even know? Of course the camera knows. It has to know. All right, let's go back here. And we're still spinning up here. Well, we'll give it another minute here. Well, don't give it another minute. Let's just log out. And we'll log back in. 10.40.40.0.40.40. What about in, all right, so that's PTZ Optics cam. This is the desktop, looking down at the desktop. This is the overhead camera looking down at the work table, which is not illuminated at the moment. Oh, we got something here. Where are we? We're at 10.40.40. All right. Can we log in? Because it doesn't look like anything's really showing up here yet. It says reboot. Well, it can't hurt to reboot. Let's try it. If it'll even do it. The fact that we're still spinning up here means it may not, well, it does kind of appear that it's active. But it hasn't identified its own IP address yet. All right, well, there it says dashboard. Can we go anywhere? Let's do this. Let's unplug it. Jono says, what about a power cycle? Jono, you're a genius. All right, we'll plug it back in. There's power. There's a reboot. I know, Ed, and I like it. Okay. 10.40.40, and it tells me the resolution. That's interesting. Okay. Well, let's go to 10.40.40. See what we got. There we go. Got IP address. Got a updated firmware number, 21. Got a Wi-Fi IP address. Let's see. Do we still? Oh, okay. Now it wants us to log in. We could look, but we couldn't touch. But now we're going to touch. All right. Preferred is Wi-Fi. Dashboard. Let's go back to the dashboard and see. Oh, preferred resolution is 4K. Huh. Interesting. I wonder if you can set the Wi-Fi resolution. No, you can't. You can't set the Wi-Fi resolution separately from the other resolution. And look, it's changed back to the Wi-Fi IP address. All right. Well, you guys didn't get to see all this. This is what I was looking at here. We got our addresses. We got our updated firmware. Sorry for not keeping you in the loop. Let's go back to vMix, and we're going to close that camera and give it a chance to come back as a different camera under NDI. There it is right there. So we'll bring it in, and we'll see, does it come in as, came in as a 4K camera this time. Look at that. Wasn't it 1080p last time? 1080, 1920 by 1080 last time? I think it may have been. Okay. All right. So let's go to PTZ. We'll connect it. There we go. Let's see. Let's just move it around a little bit, right like that. And we can come around like this. Now this is a 4K camera. Tim was concerned about the zoom. So let's put it in output right there. And I can do a little zooms with it. Or pans. He was concerned about the pan. So let's pan right. And I'm going to slow the speed in vMix down. So this is panning right. This is panning left. That's pretty smooth. I don't know what it looks like when it gets to you, but it's pretty smooth here. We'll tilt. The tilt seems to be a little slower at the same speed setting. And you notice too, this shirt, you know, you should, if you're going to have any kind of, what would you call it? What did Tim call it? Tim called it choppiness. If you can see choppiness, a shirt like this would definitely show it up. So let's go to the side again. Looks good on my end. Now, just to be accurate, the camera is set for 4K, but the vMix production is set for 1080p. So you're not seeing 4K. You're just seeing a 4K camera with 1080p. Oh, are you seeing the noir? Okay. I see that in part of it, but I don't see it in all of it. As I move around, does it have a level of that? Tim says much better, smoother, slowing it down helped. I think the movement was faster than the frame rate earlier. And frankly, I wouldn't use a PTZ camera to follow action, human action. I mean, by my direction. I wouldn't pan this intentionally other than just the fact that I have to show you things. Now we will, maybe not today. Yeah, I don't have time for it today, but I was going to say we could do the auto tracking and see how the panning is on that. Ed says there's momentary fuzziness while panning, and it clicks in focus when you come to a stop. Okay, that's interesting. that's something that the BirdDog engineers may want to take a look at. Let's see. Let me see what I see when we do that. So I'm going to pan. Of course, it's also changing its focal point. Yeah, I saw the focus just shift right there. Is it focusing on me or the wall behind me or the ceiling above me? Those are all kind of different points. I'm seeing a little choppiness in the zoom right there. You may not see that. That's my, oh, nope. There's a couple little joppies right there. Let's see how, I'm going to bring up, yeah, let's see, can we do that? Can we do this picture? Okay, so this is me in NDI Studio Monitor, and I'm going to use the zoom, the pan and tilt and zoom here, and let's just see how it. Oops. Ooh, that's way too fast. I don't have as much control in Studio Monitor as I have in Zoom. I mean, in vMix. How about that? Focus is taking a little bit to catch up. So we've got autofocus. Oh yeah, we can turn autofocus off and on. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. Let's see, can we zoom back into myself? A little down, down, there we go. To the right. Oops, you're on the right, Tom. There you go. Yeah, yeah. Put myself right in the middle of it. Can we do that? We can do that. We can do that. Too funny. Too funny. All right, let's see. What do we need to do right here? Let's go. Can we do, will that button work? No, that button doesn't work yet. Okay. Well, let's go here. Let's go here. So this is the wrong camera. This is the BirdDog X1 Ultra in a 1080p production, but bringing in the camera at 2160. So yeah, we'll play with this. Maybe in a future, maybe not next week, but in a future production, we'll do another 4K 30 production and try it out. Yeah, yeah. And oh, and you know, we don't know. I don't know if this is Wi-Fi or Ethernet, because, oh, I do know that. I'll show you how I know it. So let's go here. We'll go to the camera. And when we come in here, general, we can't really tell if it's Wi-Fi or Ethernet. There's nothing here to tell us. But if we go to the PTZ control, that gives us the IP address so that we know that we have got, that this is Wi-Fi. Interesting that I can't distinguish, or I can't choose whether I want the Wi-Fi camera or the Ethernet camera. I bet. Let's go back here for just a second. We'll go here for just a second. And if I come here for just a second, AV setup, and I say preferred NIC is Ethernet, Then, and do we apply that, or has it already happened? That's the HDMI, okay. So let's go back into vMix, and we're going to remove this camera right here. And we are going to go and see what NDI cameras are available. That camera is available. Good. And there it is. Okay. So we get to choose whether we want the Ethernet NDI version or whether we want the Wi-Fi NDI version, but we choose that in the interface, in the web interface of the camera, not in vMix. So it doesn't appear that it's making both of them available over NDI simultaneously, which is good, which is good. Let's just connect this for a second and see how, ooh, big high-speed pan. I'm going to take the speed almost all the way down. Yeah, there we go. Now this is not over Wi-Fi. Let's put this up and see how not being over Wi-Fi, I see a jump every now and then. So this is not the Wi-Fi version. This is the NDI-HX over there we go. NDI-HX over Ethernet. Take that to the bank. All right, enough fun. Enough fun. I get to have all the fun. What can I say? Oops, didn't mean to do that. Meant to go here. There we go. There we go. All right. So there we go. You're welcome, Tim. It was a lot of fun. Ed, I agree. I like this camera too. Very versatile to have the ability to do Ethernet or Wi-Fi. Yes. Yep. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. And in fairness to BirdDog, with my very first video on the X1, a lot of the problems that I ran into were operator error. And the second video I did on the X1, remember we did the one on the decoding, and I was sending something from the camera to my screen, which is right behind my camera right here, as kind of a confidence monitor. And I was trying to make it send full NDI, and it wouldn't send full NDI because it's not capable of sending full NDI. It's all NDI-HX, and that's okay, but the web interface should have, the BirdDog camera, X1 camera web interface should have flagged it and not allowed me to choose a full NDI source. So BirdDog engineers, put that on your list for idiots like me. Yeah, yeah. Well, hey, I appreciate you guys tuning in this afternoon, as always. And let's see what trouble we can cause in the future, shall we? Take care.